Why do Sigma guys avoid contemporary women? If you're a guy who has spent years improving himself intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, is it because they're terrified of commitment, or is it because they've discovered something deeper about today's relationships that many of us could be missing? You've embraced solitude and flourished in it, valuing your time, purpose, and tranquility over attention-seeking. However, as you enter the modern dating scene, something seems strange. Here's a question for you. Have modern women's expectations changed so drastically that it's forcing men like you to take a step back and reevaluate the game? According to a Harvard University study, over 65% of men believe that dating in the modern era has turned into a battleground full of irrational expectations and pressure to fit in. There is also the Sigma male, a man who doesn't follow trends or conform to social norms. These studies indicate that relationships are more difficult than ever before. Why is he avoiding modern women when he values freedom, operates on his own terms, and prefers depth to superficiality? Is it only a rejection of the dating culture of today, or is there more to it? Stay tuned because we will uncover the true causes of Sigma males abandoning relationships in the next few minutes. This could potentially alter your perspective on the dating scene as a whole. Consider what modern men truly desire in a relationship and why so many of them are willing to leave in search of it. One explanation is the decline of traditional values. The decline of traditional values is one of the main causes of Sigma males' disengagement with contemporary women. Relationships used to be based on trust, loyalty, and long-term commitment, but it seems like things have changed in our society. Quick flings, instant gratification, and disposable connections are now the norm, and for a Sigma male, this is a deal breaker. He doesn't want relationships that are superficial and come and go with a finger swipe. Instead, he seeks depth and meaning, and he wants a partner who values more than momentary excitement. However, in a culture that celebrates the transient, it is getting harder and harder to find someone who shares those values. A well-known statement by Socrates sums up the idea that an unexamined life is not worth living. Sigma men adhere to this attitude. They want partnerships that enrich their lives and provide a purpose, but they feel alienated by the fast-paced, superficial approach that contemporary dating promotes. Chase something feeling when solitude brings more clarity and peace. It's not that Sigma males reject relationships in general, rather, they reject relationships that don't have meaning, and they always choose to walk alone when given the option because of hypergamy and unrealistic expectations. The second explanation for why Sigma men are turning away from hypergamy and the rise in irrational expectations are prevalent among modern women. Dating up or looking for a mate of greater status is known as hypergamy. Although social and economic status have existed for ages, they have reached unprecedented heights in the socially conscious society of today. Consider this: contemporary women are constantly exposed to pictures of men showing off their money with fancy automobiles and extravagant holidays. The message is that if he isn't offering this lifestyle, he isn't worth your time. However, Sigma males aren't playing that game. They value financial independence and personal achievement but aren't prepared to compromise their morals or give in to materialistic pressures in order to win acceptance. According to a Cornell University study, men who don't fit into traditional social hierarchies, such as Sigma males, frequently feel alienated by the need to constantly prove themselves in a hypergamous society. They view relationships based on status as meaningless and superficial, emphasizing outward appearances over genuine emotional ties. But here's the problem: many contemporary women have expectations that are shaped by social media. For a Sigma male who prides himself on authenticity and independence, these expectations feel exhausting and impossible to meet. Instead of competing in this never-ending chase for status, Sigma males choose to walk away because they understand that their value is entirely dependent on wealth or outward appearances. Sky High believes they deserve a man who checks all the boxes. Being alone and growing personally are considerably more significant than being with someone who views them as just a means to an improved way of life. 3. Guys are becoming more feminine. The third explanation for why Sigma men are abandoning few people are willing to discuss the feminization of men in today's society, where there is growing pressure on men to repress their innately masculine tendencies and embrace more socially acceptable characteristics, which are frequently softer, more passive, and less assertive. However, for Sigma males, this trend goes against who they are. These men are unapologetically masculine, embracing their inner strength, independence, and the desire to forge their own path, and when modern women, influenced by this cultural shift, expect them to tone down their natural masculinity, it causes an instant disconnect. A Sigma male values authenticity above all else, and the idea of hiding their true selves to conform to social norms or, worse, to gain someone's approval is just unacceptable. One of the greatest thinkers of our time, Carl Jung, famously stated that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For a Sigma male, this couldn't be more true. For reason 4, Sigma guys prefer to live alone in accordance with who they really are rather than be in a relationship that makes them change who they are because they leave partnerships where they feel their actual essence isn't appreciated or understood. Self-reliance versus reliance. Another major factor contributing to Sigma males' disengagement from modern women is their unwavering belief in independence over dependency. In today's relationships, there is frequently an implicit expectation of emotional dependency and a need to continuously rely on one another for approval, happiness, and self-worth. But for a Sigma male, this mindset goes against everything he stands for. Sigma males are fiercely independent by nature. They don't need anyone else to complete them or define their value. They have already developed a strong sense of self-reliance through their careers, personal development, or even solitude. A good relationship is about two whole people coming together to complement one another without being codependent, not about losing oneself in someone else. Because modern dating frequently fosters a culture of constant attention and validation seeking, Sigma males in particular value their personal space, their freedom to follow their passions, and their ability to live life on their own terms. They also believe that a relationship should enrich their lives rather than consume them. Instead of compromising their independence to fit in with contemporary relationship norms, Sigma guys feel alienated and don't want to be someone's emotional support system or feel under continual pressure to show their value via incessant texts or social media posts. The growth of feminism and gender politics is the fifth reason why Sigma males are opting to leave and enjoy a life of satisfaction on their own terms rather than being bound by the emotional reliance that contemporary partnerships often entail. The sixth explanation for why Sigma men are abandoning. While feminism has undoubtedly brought about positive changes that have empowered women and promoted equality, it has also created an environment where relationships can feel more like a political battlefield than a partnership for Sigma males who value peace, balance, and authenticity. This is where modern women lie in the rise of feminism and the increased focus on gender politics. Being dynamic may be draining. Political arguments over gender norms, power conflicts, and ongoing conversations about what men and women should or shouldn't do are common distractions from contemporary dating. Sigma guys aren't interested in these societal wars. They seek harmony rather than strife. When discussions about gender politics dominate every contact, Sigma males in particular find it hard to connect with women. Instead, they want relationships where respect for one another and personal development come before ideological arguments. Sigma males admire independent, strong women, but when feminism turns into a movement of superiority or contempt for men, it becomes a barrier because they don't want to be rejected or judged for being masculine, and they don't want to be involved in relationships based on power dynamics rather than mutual understanding, rather than being drawn into the battle of gender politics. So there you have it. Sigma men choose to live their lives on their own terms and choose to form partnerships based on respect for one another, where both partners stand as equals free from the pressure of political agendas and cultural expectations. In conclusion, 5 main explanations for why Sigma men are abandoning contemporary women. They choose to follow their own path, embracing solitude if it means preserving their independence and peace of mind, rather than chasing after fleeting attention, fighting through unrealistic expectations, or losing themselves in societal pressures. This isn't because they're afraid or insecure, but rather because they have a deep desire for something more authentic and more in line with their values. However, I question you, are we moving toward a future where more men will adopt the Sigma? If you're a Sigma male or someone who identifies with these values, share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you thought this video was insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There will be more videos on the Sigma mindset, relationships, and the modern world we live in. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. M's lead. Will the very foundations of modern relationships change as more men reject the status quo, or will society change in response to their walkaway movement?